start on the at-home update on this Friday morning. Hi, everybody. Welcome into Mi Casa as we got a little bit of art going on in the background, things that are in progress, not quite finished yet. That is not the way to end 2021 with things in progress, but not yet. It'll get there sooner or later. That's just the way art is. Ever evolving, always changing. Hopefully that's the way life is for most of us. Certainly that's the way it's been for the last couple of years. Again, glad you're getting day started with us. It is the 31st and final day of 2021. Some folks say they can't wait to get rid of the year, ready to see 2022 with hopes that it is in fact an earlier, better year. Who knows? I mean, you've done enough of these, at least I have, to know. It's kind of like making resolutions. Are you kidding? Why would I make a resolution when it always seems to go up in smoke within the first, 7 days of a new year? Hey, don't forget, this is a live Facebook post, so that means you can communicate with me. I can see your comments. I know what you have to say, and then we can address any issues that you might have. If you just want to say good morning, tell us where you're watching from. Like those two, just like knowing you're out there. The only other thing that I would ask you to do, hit us with a thumbs up. That is a like. Has to do more with algorithms than anything else. It's not that I need to know that, you got to thumbs up. It's just that if you do that, it helps us come up, prioritize a little bit higher on the list. We show up on more people's Facebook feed, which, just another way to let more people know, hey, we're doing this. We've been doing this for 2 years. It is not a consistent time because it all has to do with when and how I can get home to do these. Because again, it is Dan's at-home update, not Dan's at work update. That's called the newscast, the morning show. This is not a newscast. It's kind of a morning show. It's an extension of the morning show, if you will, where we just have casual conversation. We talk about things that are happening in our community. So let's see who is up early on this New Year's Eve. And if so, I got to wonder why. Hi, Kim. Good morning to you. Carlene is in from Nederland. Hey, Faye, Esther. Good to see you this morning. Jennifer is up this morning as well. Sheila Lackey says, what the heck am I doing up this early? I'm wondering the same thing, Sheila. Aren't you living the retired life now? Don't you retired folks sleep in until like 10 a.m. or something? Stay up until 2 a.m.? Maybe not. Probably not. Eloise, good morning to you. Nice to see you up with us this morning. Also, Joseph, Happy New Year to you as well. Do you have plans, Joseph, for New Year's Eve? I was asked that several times today, and I said the challenge at this point is just staying up to midnight. Not sure that will happen either. Hi, Marcia. Tasha, good morning to you. Heather is up this morning as well. So is Cynthia over in the Lamar Beaumont area. Cynthia, are you a big fan or do you have big expectations of fireworks in your neighborhood tonight? I have a feeling they will be in mine. Where I'm watching from. Love it here. Well, I'm glad you love it, but I miss you guys being here. Sheila and her family have, like so many of my friends who are here, retire and they move where? To the hill country. I keep telling my wife, if we want to visit with folks, we just have to go to the hill country. They're all there. New Year, one day at a time. That always seems a good way to do it. Lisa, good morning to you. Leo Stringer is up this morning. And he is, of course, I guess is Yoakum, does that count as, I don't know if that counts as, that's Central Texas. Maybe it is hill country, but Leo, I hope everything is going well with you and your relocation. Also, Andrea, good morning from Victoria. Another one of those I got a feeling has connection to Southeast Texas. Hi, Jennifer. Glad to see you're volunteering at the Humane Society of Southeast Texas. We have so many animals that need good homes. It's a good, maybe that's that turn you need to do to bring good fortune to you, is to adopt an animal, take care of an animal that's been abandoned. Hi, Ann. Paula, good morning to you. Kelly Tran is up this morning. It is really a sad story too, Jennifer, when I read all of them about folks who, get animals or pets for Christmas and a month into the new year and they're already abandoning their pet because all of a sudden Oh, it's more responsibility than I thought it was going to be. A little bit of research goes a long way before you bring a pet into your life. We have several in ours, and they demand a little bit more attention sometimes than probably you want to put in. But again, it's the obligation that you've made. All right, let's jump into it, talk about things that are happening, things you need to be aware of this morning. One of them is the weather. So I thought we'd start with the forecast. This is KFDM.com, accessible to you, of course, where it means not only do you get the temps, as you can see at the bottom there, and things are going to be changing. You can see on Friday, we're talking about 81 for the high, Saturday, 80 for the high, but look at the difference 24 hours is going to make. You're talking almost 40, not quite, 35 degrees and change there from afternoon high to afternoon high. Lows, not so much, but yeah, afternoon highs are going to be significant. And it sticks around a couple of days. I mean, by Wednesday, we're back up at 72. And rain, maybe not so much an issue today, maybe not for your New Year's Eve plans, but your New Year's Day, pretty good chance you're going to see some showers sometime during the course of the day. I'm not going to try to pin it down exactly, but sometime during the course of the day. All right, also this morning, just to get you up to speed on some headlines, COVID cases on the rise in Southeast Texas. We're not going to ignore the story. We keep talking about how do you learn to live with COVID? How do you learn to live with a pandemic? How do you learn to evaluate what you would call your risk budget and or your risk aversion and or there are so many different ways you can look at that. But the point being, it's not going anywhere. These numbers are going to continue to rise. If you're paying attention to national stories, you know the trend. You know what's going on. You're hearing what the experts are saying. I mean, what did the World Health Organization, and I know a lot of people, great, that's an organization we don't trust. Well, who are you going to trust? That's another decision that you have to make, but I can't ignore it. As a journalist, I'm not going to ignore what people say. I'm going to read what they say, evaluate, and make decisions just like you should. But WHO this week, the director there saying he expects a tsunami of Omicron cases across the country. Now, there are things that you can take away from that. You can go in one direction and say, oh, that means they're going to overwhelm the hospitals. But you can go in the other and say, hey, the more people that get milder cases of the Omicron variant, the more people who now have antibodies, the more people that are less likely maybe to get the Delta variant. It just depends on what you read. There are so many different takes, so many different directions you can go with all the information that is coming our way these days. It is sometimes hard to ferret out what you want to put your stock in and what you want to put your belief in. Also this morning, Judge Brannick says, even though we are seeing those numbers going up, and again, we are not seeing the severity at the hospitals that we saw in the last wave with Delta, but we are seeing a lot of people who need infusion therapy. There was some concern that the Jefferson County regional, it's not really Jefferson County because it's more than Jefferson County, it's a regional infusion center, might close its doors because they had run out of the antibody treatments. Not true. Judge Brannick telling us yesterday that he's been working with state and private contractors. They're actually going to increase capacity at the regional infusion center, and there's a cost to be exacted. Look at this, between $11,000 and $25,000 a day, to keep things running. But they're also going to double the amount of infusion treatments that they can offer. We talked about this yesterday here at home about the fact that there are going to be some decisions made. Whoops, sorry about that. There are going to be some decisions made that may not be easy decisions, but do have to be made. Things like who gets infusion therapy. If you truly do see that significant of a spike, don't you have to start saying, okay, we have a limited number of infusion therapies available. Who are we going to give them to? We're going to give them to people that show mild symptoms, or are we going to give them to people who are really in distress and have a problem? And it's already happening. I talked to someone yesterday. Where was that? Went to get a haircut. The barber says, "Hey, I was exposed over the holidays. I felt like it was only prudent that I get tested. I don't want to, give it to somebody if I've gotten it. I don't want to share it. Plus I'm working with clients every day, even though I'm masked up. I want them to be confident that I'm doing all I can to keep them safe." Went to get the test. It was a struggle. She said, I waited 2 hours to be able to get the rapid test, 2 hours. So if that's you and you don't have home tests, don't be surprised if you're going to have to take a number, get in line. The good news is you're not going to be sitting in a waiting room, because that wouldn't be very smart to put those who are potentially infected or are infected into one room. Generally speaking, they will tell you either to wait in your car, go home, we'll call you when it's available, you can come back and be tested. But the tests are out there. They may not be easy to get. And as the numbers continue to rise and suspected cases continue to rise, it's only going to get tougher. It's only going to get tougher. Also this morning in our breaking news, helicopter crash. I don't know if you saw this one. Let me take you to that story. Man killed in a helicopter crash, injured his 2 sons and the pilot. This is in Polk County. It was just outside of Liberty. Apparently a man, his 2 sons, doing a bit of surveying, looking at property when the helicopter they were in, a Bell Model 206B, suffered some mechanical failure. And there you can see the crash site. You can go. Don't forget, anytime you go to our websites, when you see the arrow, of course, means you can play out. There's video there. You can watch the entire story and be educated right there. All right. If you are a football fan, it has been bowl crazy, but it has also been bowl weird, because you've had bowl games that were scheduled that got canceled. You've had bowl games that one team had to drop out, another team was substituted. But you're not going to see that happen over the course of the next 24 hours, I don't think. I mean, if they haven't canceled it by now, they're not going to cancel it. And these are the big money games. These are the high dollar games. They're going to do everything they can to make sure that they can play these games. And to that end, we've got the best of the games. That would be what most people would suggest, because now you're getting into the college football semifinals. Is there any chance somebody besides Alabama and Georgia get into the final? If you're a football fan, I don't know. There's something to me. I know a lot of people are not real taken by the Michigan program necessarily, but just to see somebody different, wouldn't it be kind of nice if it turned out to be, and I know Bama fans are going to hate me saying this, Cincinnati fans or maybe American, they're going to hate me saying this, but wouldn't it be kind of nice to see someone else in the championship game for, I don't know, just for grins, maybe, especially if you don't have a dog, in the hunt. If you're not out there, if you're not, again, alumni or big fan, and you're just on the sidelines watching to see somebody other than the same 2 teams who always seem to play in the championship game. Can it happen? I'm not sure that it can. Somebody asked me, let's see where it is if I can find it real quick. Somebody was asking me, here it is. Ann Lewis says, gonna watch the Sugar Bowl, Dan. Well, of course I'm gonna watch. I'm a Baylor Bear just like you, so sick 'em Bears. Yes, I will watch that one. I don't know how much of it I'll watch, but I will definitely watch some of it. My thought is it's going to wind up being, Alabama and Georgia in the final. But it'll be interesting because they are playing. The first game is the Cotton Bowl. That'll be played in the afternoon. That'll feature Alabama and Cincinnati. And then the second game will be Georgia and Michigan. Right? I think that's right. Kelly Tran, Happy New Year to you, Dan. Thank you so much, and to your family. Same to you, Kelly. Margaret, same to you as well. Thank you for watching us this morning. And also, as I said, Ann Lewis, she's pulling for the Cinderella team. Which team would that be, Ann? The Cinderella team. Would that be, I would think, if you're talking about the semis, the Cinderella team would have to be Cincinnati. Do they really have a chance? I mean, come on. Harbaugh and Michigan, they got a legit shot. They can play against Georgia. But Cincinnati, smaller conference, will they be able to hold up? We'll see. All comes down today. One final story for you this morning before we get out of here. I love this one. You know, traditionally, I don't know about you, but in my home growing up, there was not a New Year's Day that went by that my mom did not make black-eyed peas, period. Black-eyed peas, cornbread, cabbage. It was all going to happen. It didn't matter what else you served. Those two things were going to be on the table because my mom grew up in that house that said, you know, that's what brought you luck for the next year, right? Was to eat the black-eyed peas and cabbage. And there are all kinds of stories about where that comes from. But I thought it was interesting. I was kind of rummaging around this morning, reading a variety of different newspapers, and I came across this story. So let me just pull it up here for you so you can see it, about other foods that are considered to be lucky on New Year's Day. I had no idea about some of these. Now, okay, black-eyed peas, yeah. But did you know, there's the black-eyed peas story if you want to see it. Right? Hoppin' John, right? Apparently, in Italy, they kind of do the same thing, but they mix it with pork as a lucky dish. But have you ever seen this one? 12 grapes for luck on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Spaniards eat 12 grapes when the clock strikes midnight on New Year's Eve. As the tradition goes, they believe 12 grapes at midnight, one for each month, will bring you good luck. Apparently, the ritual started back in the 1900s when a grape grower, this makes sense, had a bumper crop and was creative about giving away the surplus. So now at midnight, if you go to Spain, you see a lot of people walking around with chipmunk cheeks because they're trying to stuff those 12 grapes in. How about this one? Pork. We know in the States, a lot of people have pork on New Year's Day, maybe, ham hock, something like that. But it's not everywhere. But in Germany, they consider it to be especially lucky, and they serve it with sauerkraut for their New Year's. Also, this one, the Asian take on lucky food for the new year, noodles. And the longer the noodles, the better they are because it symbolizes long life and luck. In Japan, soba noodles are served on New Year's. In China, they also have noodles as well. While if you go to other countries, look at this one. Eating a whole fish is considered to be lucky or to bring good fortune in Eastern European countries. And they even carry scales from the fish in their wallets. And then the last one, pomegranate seeds, apparently, are considered to be good luck as well. So we always like to say, who knew? I did not know some of those. Those were I don't know. I'm not sure I'm going to stuff grapes, though, at midnight. All right, so that's it for me this morning. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your starting early with me this morning. And if you head out into your day, your night, might want to carry the umbrella just to be on the safe side. Odds are you're not going to need it. May not even need it tonight for the New Year's Eve celebrations because it looks like it's probably going to hold off until probably later, maybe early morning time. So hopefully you get all those things in, all your celebrations in. Appreciate you dropping by this morning. Want to remind you, there it is, the page I was looking for, that you can check out what's going on today. We'll be on air, of course, not only today, but right on through the New Year's as well. 5, 6, 10, 5:30. You'll also see us, of course, in the morning, hopefully getting back to our normal routine in the very near future. But you can also follow on Facebook as well as Twitter. Morning TV Dan is my particular Twitter handle. And then also on YouTube, you can subscribe and follow Dan's At Home Updates. You go out and make it a terrific day, and we'll look forward to talking to you again soon.